Thanks so much, you could join me. I am Pius Kojubaka. Inflation for December 2024 went up marginally to 23.8% from November 2024 figure of 23%. This is higher than the Bank of Ghana end-of-year target of 20%. The adjustment was influenced by rising food prices on the market over the past month. Now, there is more in this report.
So with an inflation of 23%, this basically means that government missed its end-of-year target inflation, which was being pegged at 15% and at a point was being revised to 18%. And when you go through the components, you realize that this time food inflation also, drove the inflation to that point. Somewhere in November 2024, food inflation was somewhere hovering around 25%, but currently around 27.9%.
Fruits and nuts that recorded a price change of 66.2% relative to the regional food inflation of 46.0% for the month of December 2024. Highlights of December 2024 rate of inflation. In the month of December 2024, average prices of goods and services went up by 23.8%, indicating that on a year-on-year basis, specifically between December 2023 and December 2024, general price levels of goods and services went up by 23.8%. This is on the backdrop that on a year-on-year basis, November 2024, we recorded an overall rate of inflation of 23.0%, indicating that on a year-on-year basis, between November and December 2024, we saw a marginal increase of 0.0 points for the year-on-year inflation.
However, non-food inflation for the month of December 2024 also went down to some 20.3%, coming all the way from some 20.7% in November 2024. Now, when you also look at locally produced items, as well as imported items, they rather experience some sort of shoot, going up compared to what we experienced in November 2024.
Disaggregating year-on-year inflation from a food and non-food perspective, we identified a 7.5 percentage point difference between inflation for food and inflation for non-food, with inflation for food standing at 27.8% in the month of December 2024 and non-food inflation 20.3% for the month of December 2024. We have seen an increase in food inflation, increasing from 25.9% to 27.8%. And in contrast, we have recorded a decline in non-food inflation, declining from 20.7% by 0.4 percentage points to 20.3% for the month of December 2024.
Now, when you look at some divisions, it appears alcoholic beverages food also, recorded an inflation rate higher than the national inflation. Then the Upper East region also recording some 40.6% inflation, being the highest regional, with the highest, inflation for the month of December 2024, whereas the Eastern region also recording some 16% inflation for the month of December 2024. For Joy Business, James Ishem.
And on the back of this, we want to have a conversation. Joining us via phone is economist Professor Patrick Usumi. Thanks so much, sir, for agreeing to speak to us on Business Live. Now, government missed its target for the year 2024. Inflation ended the year with 23.8% from the 23.0% recorded in November. Are you surprised?
Good evening to viewers. Thanks for having me. Not surprised at all. I think from the middle of the year, it has been obvious that we are not going to see any sustained disinflation towards the end of the year. And it's a combination of rising cost of production domestically, even though in the last quarter or so, we've seen the currency stabilize. So we see the imported inflation looks marginally lower, but overall, food prices in particular have been going up. So it's not a surprise to me at all that we missed the target.
Now, and it brings to mind the impact of various government intervention policies like the Planting for Food and Jobs, etc. Would you say the program has failed?
Largely. I think, for PFJ Phase 2, I have no idea what has been done. But even the PFJ Phase 1, I think we saw some positive impact in the first couple of years. But since the COVID started, since 2019, we saw that there had been problems with the distribution of fertilizer. The PFJ simply became a fertilizer distribution program, and even then, we couldn't get sustained fertilizer supply because we were depending on others to provide the fertilizer. So, together with the other related programs of One Village, One Dam, obviously those didn't help. They were not very successful in addressing the fundamental problems with the agriculture sector. No two ways about that.
Now, as we have it, a new government is in place. What are some of the real interventions you believe can be implemented to control inflation?
Well, I think as you just been talking about, the food inflation since 2022 or so, food inflation has been the biggest driver of inflation, and that is real problematic. I think what the immediate thing the government can do is to actually go and set up large-scale commercial farms in a farm place area and get a lot of young people to go and help with production of some of our basic staples immediately. Because the interventions that we are talking about, it seems to face bottlenecks at different points. Let's go and grow more maize, grow more rice, grow more staples, and then start making sure that at the next harvest season, we've seen there's more abundance of food and the food prices start coming down. Because the rising food insecurity is a major problem. While we do that, I think we also have to tackle the distribution. Even in periods where food production has been reasonably okay, transport costs has been extremely high because the roads, the main food production centers are not good. If you take yam, for instance, you can have places where the northern part will have an abundance of yam, and yam prices are extremely high down south because we are not making use of, for instance, the water transportation system well enough. And we have not, even our road construction has not really taken proper cognizance of how we make sure that the major production centers are connected to the major market. So all of these are problems. So it's not just an investment in the production, but an investment in the distribution channels are all needed. But like I'm saying, what will have immediate impact is let's go and set up major farms in the Afram Plains area where the land tends to be extremely more fertile. And then by the time we have our next harvest season, we might have abundance of some of the basic staples, rice, maize, particular, and some of the tubers. I think that would be very helpful.
All right, we will leave the conversation here. Thank you so much, Professor Patrick Esumeh, for your time here on Business Live. You're still watching Business Live. Let's touch on the story we also have for you. President John Mahama is asking the business community for the needed support to help bring the economy back on track. Dr. John Mahama said this in his inaugural speech at the Black Star Square yesterday in Accra.
The president noted that this proposed transformation cannot be achieved without the private sector fully coming on board.
To the business leaders and entrepreneurs, I invite you to support this new model and join me in shaping a business environment where creativity thrives and where the fruits of your investments contribute to the collective welfare of our nation. Your role in driving our economy forward cannot be overstated.
He also noted that Ghana is committed to ensuring that private enterprises can thrive, grow to help in the expansion of the economy.
Focus our initial efforts on 4 critical areas. The first is economic restoration and stabilization of the macroeconomic environment. Second is the improvement of the business and investment environment to ensure that Ghana is once again open for business.
President John Mahama also promised to create the required jobs for the youth and graduates in the country.
Our policies will be tailored to sustain innovation and foster industry that engages today's young minds and equip them with the skills needed for tomorrow's challenges. Together with the private sector and captains of business, we will create decent and well-paying jobs.
The president also highlighted the role of his 24-hour economy to turn around the fortunes of the country and ensure that there's an opportunity for every startup and entrepreneur to grow and expand their businesses.
Let's hear from the business community. Joining us now is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bedu-Abuaji. Thanks so much, sir, for joining us here on Business Life, and a Happy New Year to you. Now, the President is inviting you to the business table, saying Ghana is open for business. Your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I think it's a very good news. It's acknowledgement of the fact that the President alone cannot develop the economy. And obviously, he needs the support of the private sector. Economic development largely is between the public sector and the private sector. The government will have to create the right environment, and the private sector will take advantage to increase productivity and also increase our GDP and employ a lot more people. So it's a good call, and I think that I'm happy with the commitment of the President to work with the private sector. I think that is the way forward, and that will just also require some of the things that he said. I mean, it's not just a call. Business will do very well when the right environment is created, which he has promised that is going to stabilize the economy and also enhance the business and investment environment. For me, it's very key. Now, people have money, they are looking for opportunities to invest, but they only invest in an environment that is conducive. So the President is actually assuring all of us that is going to enhance the environment. Then foreign and both domestic investors will be happy and will be ready to invest in the economy. For me, it's a good call, and we need to work together to improve the well-being of Ghanaians.
And talking about creating the enabling environment, he promised to rationalize and even scrap some of the taxes you deemed nuisance. How helpful would that be to you?
Extremely helpful. In fact, if you look at the manifesto of the NDC, I mean, largely it's because of some of the things that we have said over and over again that they are militating against the performance of businesses. They are not helping businesses in any way. It was based on that they said that they are going to scrap some of the taxes, i.e., I remember very well the e-levy and the COVID tax that we have said over and over again that they are not relevant at this time. We really want to develop our economy. So if the President says he's going to scrap them, obviously it has to do with, but some of them also have to be rationalized. They don't necessarily have to scrap, but have to be rationalized. A typical case is a bad system. Tax rationalization, basically, it means that you are just restructuring the tax policies to make them efficient and also align them to economic goals. That is what we expect them to do. The VAT system, where you have combined a standard VAT and a levy, makes it extremely difficult for even people to comply. Somebody wants to pay, they don't even know how to calculate it. And if efficiency is very key. So if he says he's going to rationalize them, it means that it's going to make it efficient, easy for us businesses to be able to understand and able to comply and pay. For me, it's fair. But the ones that they have said categorically that they are going to scrap may not require rationalization. They have to scrap them. But based on that, a number of businesses might have voted for him after the elections and after he has been sworn in. We expect that the ones that he said he's going to scrap, he should do that and then rationalize the rest as well.
And I'm pretty sure
that is the only way out to.
I was just saying that I'm pretty sure you're talking about the COVID-19 levy tax, etc. But what would be your key indicators you will be expecting under President John Mahama to assure you that indeed Ghana is open for business?
Well, a lot of things that we are looking out for. One is the stabilization of the currency. In fact, if your currency is behaving like the way we have experienced for the past 3 to 4 years, it doesn't help in planning. One, because you cannot even plan in the long term. Two, it's also affecting if you really want to take any facility that is long term in nature. You are even afraid, and people need money. The interest rate in Ghana is extremely high, so most of the business would like to go outside and get facilities. But if your city is behaving this way, it wouldn't help you. So obviously, to stabilize the currency and even help to improve on it, it will help us. The other key thing is also the cost of borrowing. I'm expecting that over the period, once we ensure that we have stability in the macroeconomic environment, inflation coming down, policy rate will have to come down, and by extension, interest rate will also follow. And we are likely to see that the cost of borrowing will also go down. Utility, obviously, certain things that, his hands are tied because of the IMF conditionalities, but we need to come together and see how best we can improve the business environment. There's confidence that he has to restore in the economy, and the statement that he made that he's ready to restore that confidence. He's ready to stabilize the economy. He's ready to improve the business environment. For me, it's enough information to anybody, any business, anybody who has interest in investing in Ghana to take advantage of this. So the confidence for me will come back, and all of us will be happy.
Mark Bidwa-Waji, thanks so much for your input at this very moment. We truly appreciate it. Still watching Business Live. We are back with the Joy Business Van.
Was launched.
Welcome back to Business Live. Offering the best value for your money without compromising on quality. That has been the strategy of one of Ghana's leading auto repairs business, Icon Autotech. The Joy Business Van is in Tema Industrial Hub to learn how the automotive business is taking the complexity out of car repairs.
Being different and having a niche is a great thing in business. It works to the advantage of the business and helps reach clients. Isaac Nate knows this too well. When he set up his auto repairs business, Icon Autotech, he decided he would be different, and that is paying off. And as Isaac tells me, it's not often the business itself that makes a company unique. It's the people, the approach, and the intangible elements.
This work, you can know the job, but if you don't have the right equipment, you will still fail. If you have the right equipment and you don't have the right engineers, you still fail. So I decided to kind of invest in the personality, which is a human resource, and then equipment.
That's been the emphasis for Isaac since 2003 when he decided to embark on this journey. Icon Autotech is now the go-to place for top-notch automotive services, utilizing the latest tools and technology to ensure accurate diagnostics and efficient repairs.
One of the services we offer is the pick and delivery service. If you cannot bring your vehicle here, call us. We can come to your house, pick it up, work on it, and give it back to you or deliver it to you. We also have mobile vans that will move around to service vehicles for customers. We also have, you see this paint booth that we have here? We have foldable ones that can be installed maximum within 10 minutes. We'll install it. So if your car is involved in an accident, let's say you don't want your car to come out, a Bugatti, Maserati, some big cars, they don't want their cars to come out. So what we do is that we move to your house, mount the paint booth, then we paint the car in your house. Okay, so whether it's scratch, a rust, or anything on the body, we move to your house and then we fix it.
Mauli Boy is general manager at Icon Autotech.
So for instance, this vehicle that you see here, when it came, it was heavily accidented around this side. The whole of this part is damaged, including this fender over here, for instance. We cannot even recognize it. Now this is a new one that we bought to replace it. The door here, elsewhere they would have condemned it completely. But in Icon Autotech, because of the numerous machines that we have to be able to take care of problems like this, yes, you can see we've worked on it, being able to pull it out nicely with our dent pullers and everything. We're able to pull it out nicely. And with this, as you are seeing it over here now, elsewhere they would have added a lot of filler on it, making it so heavy. At the time, within about 6 months' time, you realize that cracks and the rest will start forming on the car. Otherwise, the paint, even the paint that is on the vehicle, you realize that it will fade heavily. It will become so dim. But in Icon Autotech, because of the machines we have here, we managed to pull it out nicely back to its original shape. So with a little dressing, with the filler work, we're able to get a perfect job.
Most of the equipment we use there are the diagnosis tools, electronic tools, okay? When the car comes in here, you complain that your car is not starting, there's some check light on it. We can't just look at it and then give you the problem. We have to scan it. So we have all the scanning tools, we have the programming equipment to program your car. So we scan the vehicle, it gives us all the code, then we interpret the code before we even start working on the car. I say that if you're a mechanic and you don't upgrade yourself, a time will come you run out of business, because most of the cars now doesn't even have engines. They are all electrical vehicles or electromechanical vehicles. So we upgrade ourselves every time.
The specialized skill set required to work on the technology in vehicles means more training and upgrades. ICANN has invested in that over time. Its reach is beyond Accra.
Our customers are not only based in Accra or Tema. We have customers all the way in Takoradi, Wayo Engineering, Jasmo Constructions from Takoradi. We work on their vehicles. When it comes to Accra, we have Maranatha Oil, we have Engine Ghana, a lot of companies. And even the insurance companies like Ghana Union Assurance, they work with us. We have customers there. And then even Koforudia, we have, so we go everywhere. And because we do home service, we can come and pay the vehicles. Customers are so much, they're happy to work with us.
ICANN Autotech's work has received industry recognition, adjudged the best garage 3 consecutive times. To expand, Isaac says the business needs access to finance.
Every business needs finance. It is finance, money. You see, nowadays it's a bit difficult getting financial institutions to support your business. Not because you cannot repay your loans, but because of inflation, they are scared. Because business is also not booming the way you wanted it. You're also scared to go into loans because you don't know what will happen the next week or the next month. And I will be happy if the government will have some kind of program to support individual businesses or individual Ghanaian businesses like us.
Beyond repairing vehicles, Isaac does not rule out assembling vehicles in the near future.
We wanted to bring in some cars to assemble. So we wrote to some companies in China and other countries. What motivated me was when I saw Apostle Safo, back in the days when he started putting some cars together. That inspired me, and I was okay, we can do the same thing. So our mission and vision, if you read in the office, you notice that we want to also come up with something like that in the near future, where we can assemble vehicles in Ghana.
While this is not beyond Isaac, who dared to pursue his dream of owning a world-class auto repairs business.
For watching Business Fun and of course Business Life for today, I am Pius Kojobaka. We have more stories for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Grateful for serving you.